Well, I'm joined now by Nagel. He is the former Israeli National Security Advisor to the Israeli Prime Minister. He's now with the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. That's a U.S.-based nonpartisan research institute in Tel Aviv. Mr. Nagel, it's good to have you with us. Israel's biggest ally, the United States, does not want a full-scale attack in Rafah. We heard last week from Mr. Netanyahu that Rafah will happen with or without U.S. support. Do you think that the Prime Minister should rethink his position?
No way, but I think it's very, very important to be concrete and accurate on what our biggest ally that really helping us since the brutal massacre of October 7th happened, what they are saying, and the same what the Egyptians are saying. What they are saying, and Israel is with them saying so, is that we should not go into a big ground maneuver in Rafah before we can assure as much as we can the situation of the refugees that moved from the north and the central to Rafah. So we have to move them first. This is the only reason that the operation in Rafah is not starting yet. Now, we have to understand.
Mr. Nagel, is that happening, though?
Is
that happening?
No, it will happen. This is why Rafah ground maneuver is not starting yet. It will happen after Israel will move the refugees or the people that came from the north and the south into other places like Muassi, near the sea, like other places around Gaza that they are relatively safe.
When will that happen? When will that happen? When will that happen, Mr. Nagel?
It will happen because the Israeli administration promised the United States, our allies, that they will show them the plan, because it's not for approval, but they will show them the plan before it will happen. So it will happen after we will do it. Without the vote in the UN that was not correct by the United States, probably it will happen this week. Some people say maybe it will be next week. But the most important thing is that Israel was attacked by a brutal... People are saying, and I saw your article before,
yes.
People the Palestinians are dead. You didn't even mention that there is 134 hostages kidnapped, raped, and they continue to be raped by the brutal Hamas in Gaza. This is the most important thing. We have to bring back our hostages, and we are not going to do it without going into Rafah and destroy and eliminate the Hamas and their leaders. And their leaders are now in Rafah, and they are hiding behind their people.
Mr. Nagel, I mean, I just want to be clear. We have not heard from the Israeli Prime Minister that there is a concrete plan for relocating hundreds of thousands, if not over a million. Is there a plan on the table?
Yes, there is a plan, and you should hear it, because if you listen to what he said that I already approved the operational plans of the IDF, and I approved the plans to move the people of Rafah to a much more safe place. Again, the one responsible organization and entity that is responsible for the suffering in Gaza and in Rafah is the Hamas, that they are hiding behind their people. Sinwar and Def and others are now surrounded by hostages and by their own people. They don't care that the people of Gaza will suffer and will be killed.
That's
they
true.
Even maybe prefer that it will happen. They prefer it will happen, so it will be easier for them. But the war cannot end before we bring back our hostages home, all the bodies. And of course, we have to kill or capture the leaders of Hamas, that they are responsible for the massacre that they did. We cannot do it without entering Rafah, and also ending, the tunnel between Egypt and Israel.
Let me just ask you, you understand the international community's skepticism here about just the realistic chances of moving an entire population out of Rafah before the city is going to be attacked. I mean, is that a realistic plan? And how long would that take?
Okay, so I will ask you, the Jewish people usually answer a question by a question. It was the same skepticism and the same not understanding when we say that we will go into Gaza City, the northern part, in Rimal and others, and then in Khan Yunis, and then in other places before we move the refugees that are now in Rafah. And this is exactly what we did. After October 7th, it took 2 or 3 weeks before we entered Gaza with the ground maneuver. We did it only after we moved the people to the south. Now, just compare and please listen to the really experts that are talking not politically. The percentage of civilians being killed in this war compared to the terrorists and others that are being killed is the lowest ever in the world. It's 1 to 10.
Yes.
Lower than in any other usual. Just compare it to Mosul or Raqqa or other places. We have about, and again, every civilian, not involved one that is dead is very, very sad, but it's because of the Hamas. But it's 1 to 1, one civilian or 1.2 or 3 civilian to a terrorist. It's usually 1 to 10 civilians on each terrorist. In Rafah, in Gaza, until now, it's 1 to 1.3. It's the best ratio. Again, it's not nice to say best, but it's the lowest ratio between civilians and terrorists being killed, and the civilians that are being killed is only because of the Hamas.
Mr. Nagel, I want to get you, before we run out of time.
We'll have to do it. We'll have to do it, but we'll do it after we'll be able to move the majority of the people from Rafah to better and more secure places.
Let me get your reaction to the news coming today from the West Bank that Mahmoud Abbas has announced the formation of a new government. Your reaction to that, and what does that mean for the future of Gaza, if anything?
I wish them very good luck in Judea and Samaria. We don't call it West Bank, we call it Judea and Samaria. I wish them very good luck. They have a role there just to make sure that the population have education, sewer, sewage, health and other things that are not supposed to be responsible on security. There is no official, and there is not going to be, at least until they will be changed, as the Americans are saying, recapitalized, revitalized, decapitalized, all those nice words. Let them do it, and then we'll talk. Until now, the Palestinian Authority, they are paying money to the terrorist families. Okay. They teach their children in schools how to hate and kill the Israelis. When they will change, we can talk about it. Until then, the Palestinian Authority, the old one, the new one, they don't have any rule, and they won't have any official job in Gaza. And again, I wish them very good luck in Judea and Samaria. They have a lot of work to do there.
Mr. Nagel, unfortunately, we are out of time, but we certainly do appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. Yaakov Nagel, the former Israeli National Security Advisor to the Prime Minister. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.